Hi guys, just still reeling on the $485 million quiet computer upgrades at Victoria Police. I'm trying to work out if that is good value or not. Either way, let's just put it like this. You've got a Bureau of Meteorology that has spent 96 mil, a cool 100 million, on their website. Now that's not even software as a service or a mobile application. Or maybe it included a mobile app. I'm not exactly sure on that one. But it's not a software as a service with customer databases and whatnot. So there's no it's not like, how can I put it? It's not like a Marlin tyre software, where you're going to regular updates, it's going to be maintained. It's a website, right? And a mobile app. 96 mil, round it to 100, obviously. Then you have Victoria Police. A Victoria Police member who clearly had just heard enough rang up going, what are you talking about? Victoria Police just did a quiet little sneaky $500 million upgrade. He said we did a $300 million computer upgrade. Didn't quite get that right, which is always the way. There's always the double dipping. Any government contract in the state of Victoria, and probably all of Australia, but certainly in Victoria, has the double dipping clause. I mean, if a corporation wrote a contract, it would be written tight as a mofo, mate. You'd just be like, right, get it done for that figure or don't get it done at all. Okay, no problem, sir, we'll get it done. But when you have government contracts, they always seem to have this double dip clause. So, okay, if we have to alter anything, if we come back and show you, then you can add pretty much, go easy, not double. Oh, gee, but 2/3, yeah, okay. So they always have these so this Victoria Police member rings up and goes, what are you talking about, 96 million for the bomb website? We just had $300 million upgrade, and then that was not quite right, so they tacked on another 185 mil on top of it. Quietly, of course. And that leads to, whichever way you want to look at it, my God, mate, people are living homeless. You could buy women's domestic violence is through the roof. Drugs are through the roof. Police stations literally are reporting, and they're not exaggerating, are reporting of Sarge getting out there on a weekend, mowing the police station's own laws himself. You could argue that's just to get away from his wife. Who knows? Maybe he's getting a favour. You could possibly put a good argument for that he was more than happy to go. No, I've got to go mow the lawn, love. It's okay, sorry. No, I can't come around to your mother's for the barbecue. I've got to go. Please. Have you seen the lawns down local station? I have to go mow the lawn, okay? I'm sorry. I have to miss the lovely barbecue with your mother on the weekend. I got to go mow the lawn. You could argue that, but come on, mate. Have a look at the joint. What the hell has Daniel Andrews and Jacinta Andrews done to this place? They ought to hang their heads in shame. And all those in the higher offices, especially those ones who want to spend the resource after dirty, rotten resource, trying to protect their own self-interest, trying to harass someone who dared call their corruption out. Come on, mate. You people are disgusting human beings. From the Jacinta Allens all the way through to the Magistrate Pappases, the Simon Overlands, the Seleskis, the Moneys, the Asafaris, you are all disgusting people. As a whole, individually, one-on-one, you may be just decent, normal people, but as a whole, collectively, you are disgusting, feral, bottom-feeding people that can't even adhere to laws. Have a look at what you're doing to the prison system. You're literally torturing people. Literally. You're breaking laws set out to protect citizens from the likes of Adolf bloody Hitler. And that's a fact. That's not even an exaggeration. Just like the little lawn mowing story, that's not even an exaggeration. It's a fact. At the end of World War II, we being humanity, the Western world, set a set of laws and human rights laws and international laws and whatnot. We set that out to protect us from things like Nazi Germany and Emperor Hirohito when he was in one of his more torturous moods, literally, to prevent prisoners of war being locked in a cell and tortured. They came up with things like the bare minimum standards on how a humane society should treat an inmate. And in that was minimum 1 hour sunlight, a pencil, paper, contact with their family, obviously 3 square meals, suitable clothing is to be provided, suitable to the environment or the climate of where they are housed or where they are locked up, however that's worded. But in all that as well is also right up the top in the big bold letters, not to use physical or mental torture as a behavioural or punishment, or behavioural incentive. Now, in Victoria's prison system, we very clearly have the misuse of AI bot tech to tick the box well and truly of mentally torturing inmates. So they have been misusing through those surveillance equipment that they have been placing in the prisons illegally. They have also been using AI bot technology to replicate the effects of the debilitating mental health illness schizophrenia. So they'll use things like the CCTV, the prison's what they call a stentophone system, which is an intercom system, and also the connected TV. This is how evil they are. They even thought, hang on, these people will just drown this out with their TV. Well, we'll fix that, won't we? We'll run it through our connected TVs. So there's no escaping it if these smart asses want to try and drown Torture Bot 6000 out with the TV. Well, we'll get around that too. So they could pipe it through their TV so that you could actually hear it. And you could not only hear it, you could trip it up. When they were doing it to me, I'd be flipping the channel, ching, 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 flipping, having my head done in, trying to be driven insane by the Munnings and Seleskis of this world, and it would catch out. So what would happen is, I don't know how it worked, but it would trip the little bot up and it would come through at full noise. Caught ya. Now all we got to do is get somebody to be decent and honest enough to admit that they made a bit of a boo-boo, and that is exactly what they were doing in the Victorian prison system. But wait, it gets worse, ladies and gentlemen, because while those hundreds of millions of your public money is getting thrown around, while you're sitting there holding tight to your spear gun in case, you know, a 14-year-old with a machete comes through looking for your car keys, while 90-year-olds are being left to bleed to death, literally, after calling for an ambulance no less than 3 times, and after 6 hours was left to bleed to death. While all those stories are happening, hang on, don't forget the 12-year-old migrant child hacked to death by a machete-wielding migrant child. While all those stories are happening and your money is getting squandered hand over fist, what these masterminds in Victoria's prison system were wasting money on is being the evil torturers, literally breaking law after law after law and thinking nothing of it. literally thinking nothing of it, wondering why people are coming out being worse, why recidivist rates are through the roof. So not only were they doing it in prison, they were doing it in the community. So you would get out from prison and there they are, you abusing their facial recognition laws, using the CCTV of the court system even, but certainly the CBD CCTV. And if they had your facial recognition image, they would then use it to try and keep them attack on your mental health. And then they stand back and scratching their heads, oh gee, I wonder why there's been a spike in retail, where people are just like lashing out. And to add to it, a person, one that I know of, who was having this done to them, ladies and gentlemen, under the Magistrate Pappas's watchful eye on the Melbourne Drug Court, while he was having it done to him, he ends up lashing out violently and stabbing an innocent member of the public. So you see how damaged it is? It's no longer like, oh yeah, well, if you don't like it, don't go to jail. Ha, that'll show you. Hello? These animals couldn't care less about the public. They don't care less about the public. They pretend to care less about the public. They swore to an oath to. Otherwise, they wouldn't be doing it. Otherwise, they would not be rubbing shoulders with the gangsters, letting gangsters walk free, scot-free to go and sell their drugs so they can take a bribe. They wouldn't be doing any of that, would they? If they genuinely cared about the citizens, none of that would be allowed to happen in the first place, because that causes the problem. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is why what has been allowed to happen in Victoria is criminal of the highest magnitude. It really is. Speak soon, guys.